is Srikanth, Assistant Professor, Dr. Ambedkar Global Law Institute, Tirupati. Yeah, good morning, students. Yesterday, in our previous class, we are discussing about the different types of contracts. Yeah, let me recapitulate once again. On the basis of validity, contracts may be classified as 5 different types. One is valid contract, number 2 void contract, number 3 voidable contract, number 4 unenforceable contract, number 5 illegal contracts. So we have seen the meaning and definition of valid contract. When a contract is said to be valid, if it can be enforceable in the court of law. So if you analyze section 2 clause H of the Indian Contract Act, what it says, an agreement enforceable by law is a contract. So to constitute a contract, there must exist an agreement. An agreement should be enforceable by law. This is valid contract. Now we are going into next type of contract, which are known as void contracts. Let us see the definition given by section 2 subclass G. Void contract. A contract which is not enforceable by law is a void contract. That means it's a contract, it's an agreement, but without any legal effect and is void ab initio, or it becomes void subsequently. So contract which is not enforceable by law is a void contract. Void contract, it is an agreement without any legal effect. Remember, if a contract is without any legal effect, it is void ab initio, or it becomes subsequently void. According to section 2 class G of the Indian Contract Act 1872, an agreement not enforceable by law is said to be void. So remember, void contracts are without any legal effect and it is void ab initio. That means void from the beginning. Example, contract with a minor. If you enter into a contract with a minor, it is void ab initio. That means it becomes void without any legal effect. In fact, if you enter into a contract with a minor, it is void ab initio. A contract entered into with a minor is void ab initio, that is not enforceable. In fact, this case law has been laid down by the Privy Council in Mohiri Bibi versus Dharma Das Ghosh. Let us see what happened. In this case, a minor was there. This minor mortgaged his house for rupees 20,000 to a money lender. This minor mortgaged means temporary transfer of ownership. He has mortgaged his house for rupees 20,000 to a money lender, and he received an advance of rupees 8,000. So minor, what the minor did here? He mortgaged his house for rupees 20,000 to money lender and received an advance of rupees 8,000. Subsequently, this minor avoided the contract and did not return even the advance of rupees 8,000 rupees. So this minor avoided the contract and he did not return the advance amount also. Subsequently, he bought a suit against the money lender to set aside the mortgage deed. Then the Privy Council held that the contract with the minor is not enforceable on the ground that agreement with minor is void ab initio. Void ab initio means void or invalid at the very beginning. So, in fact, you know that all the contracting parties should be competent to enter into the contract, and a contract entered into with a minor is void ab initio. Remember, if you enter into a contract with a minor, it is void ab initio, and this Privy Council has laid in one of the landmark judgment that is known as Mohri Bibi versus Dharmadas Ghosh. Understand? So void contracts are without any legal effect, and it is void ab initio. Example is contracts with a minor. Let us see the provisions which are declared void. Sections 24 to 30 and 56 of the Indian Contract Act 1872 lays down the provisions relating to certain agreements which are declared void. Even Indian Contract Act has declared certain agreements as void. If you enter into these types of agreements, subsequently they are void and are unenforceable. Let us see those agreements. Let us see the agreements which are declared void by the Indian Contract Act. Number 1, agreements of which consideration and objects are unlawful. Number 2, agreements without consideration. Number 3, agreements in restraint of marriage. Number 4, agreements in restraint of trade. Number 5, agreements in restraint of legal proceedings. 6, unmeaning agreements. 7, wagering agreements, and agreements to do impossible acts. So, these are the agreements which are declared as void. In fact, I have analyzed these in my previous class. So, you know that without consideration, there won't be any contract. No consideration, no contract. Then, if you enter into agreements in restraint of trade, then subsequently those agreements are forbidden by the law. Section 27 of the Indian Contract Act says that every agreement by which anyone is restrained from exercising a lawful profession, trade, or business of any kind is to that extent void. In fact, if you enter into an agreement in restraint of trade, if you enter into an agreement in restraint of marriage, if you enter into an agreement in restraint of legal proceedings, these will hit the articles of the Constitution. Why? Article 19 of the Indian Constitution specifically speaks about certain fundamental rights. Every person has a fundamental right to carry on any trade, occupation, profession. If you enter into an agreement which violates these fundamental rights, then subsequently this agreement will be declared as void. That's what section 27 speaks about. So, carrying on trade is your fundamental right. So, if you enter into an agreement which restrains from carrying on the trade, occupation, or profession, it is void. Likewise, agreements in restraint of marriage, even to getting married is our fundamental right. So, if you enter into a contract, for example, A is there, A promises to pay rupees 50,000 to B if B does not marry anybody. So this is an void agreement. Why? This agreement imposes restraint upon the freedom of the B to marry any person. So under Article 21, every person has the freedom to marry. So if A promises to pay rupees 50,000 to B, if he does not marry anybody, this agreement is void. Why? It is imposing restraint on the freedom of B. So agreement in restraint of marriage. Even if you enter into agreement in restraint of legal proceedings, that means going to the court is your fundamental right. So if A tells to B that you don't go to the court, I will pay you money, and both enters into a agreement. This is an agreement which is void. Why? It goes against the fundamental rights of going to the courts. So any agreement without consideration, any agreement in restraint of marriage, trade, any agreement in restraint of legal proceedings, unmeaning agreements, wagering agreements, agreements to do impossible acts, these are void agreements, subsequently unenforceable without any legal effect, and is void ab initio. Best example is contract with a minor, which has been laid down in Mohri Bibi versus Dharmadas Ghosh. Next type of contracts are voidable contracts. Section 2 subclass I. Section 2 subclass I defines voidable contract as it is an agreement which is enforceable by law at the option of one or more parties thereto, but not at the option of other or others. Contract is said to be voidable. So, if you take an example, a contract entered into out of coercion, undue influence, fraud, misrepresentation, mistake, etc., is said to be voidable. If you analyze or if you see section 19 of the Indian Contract Act, consent has to be free. Whenever you are entering into a contract, the consent should be free. You have to exercise a free will. When consent to an agreement is caused by coercion, fraud, or misrepresentation, the agreement, that is a contract, is voidable at the option of the party whose consent was so caused. Let us take one example. A is there, B is there. A pointed out a gun to B to enter into an agreement. Subsequently, B, out of fear, he entered into agreement with A. Subsequently, agreement was turned to be a contract, and subsequently they have executed the contract. No problem. Because B does not question the A's what is called coercion. Subsequently, subsequently, yeah, A pointed out a gun to B and asked him to enter into a contract. B entered into the contract. Now, subsequently, B can question the same in the court of law. That is voidable contract. Another type of contract is unenforceable contract. So, an unenforceable contract, it is a contract. It is a contract which is valid for all practical purposes until and unless its validity is challenged or questioned. It cannot be enforced due to some technical defect. For example, if you want to purchase and sell the house, registration is mandatory. Both enter into a contract for purchase and sale of a house, but they didn't get it registered. Subsequently, it is unenforceable. If you go to registered office and register your documents, it becomes enforceable in future after registration. So unenforceable contract is a contract. It is valid for all practical purposes until and unless its validity is challenged or questioned. Fifth type of contract is illegal contracts. Illegal contract is one which is immoral or against the law. So illegal contracts are always void, and it is also a crime under section 120A, criminal conspiracy of the Indian Penal Code. It is not only void but also an offense. However, every void contract is not illegal. So students, we have analyzed different types of contracts, namely valid contract, void contract, voidable contract, unenforceable contract, and illegal contracts. In our next class, we are going to see the meaning and definition of offer. Have a good day. This is Srikant signing off today.